Hey yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be going over a little bit of some Bitcoin, the price action we've seen today in the past day, a little bit of Ethereum. It's gone up roughly I think about 20% almost today, and we'll also check in on the totals. But for now, let's start in on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin. So let's get this noise out of here. So last week, the close yesterday, we had a nice long wick down here. You can say this is a bullish hammer, but it's red. Normally they would be green. So I mean, you can say it's a bullish hammer. Very powerful with that long wick down there and how it closed all the way up top. So that's looking pretty good. And also on the MACD, we're starting to 2 weeks in a row now, and going to be hopefully if this closes the same. But so far, it's the negative momentum is waning on the oscillators for the MACD. It's a good thing. Also, we still have all the way back in December 2018, we have this little trend line going here, making higher lows. As you can see, we started to come back up, and now we're going back down. We see how that plays out. Hopefully this, if it does ever come back down here, this little trend line we got going will hold it, and it can reverse. That could act as a reversal point, but we'll see how it all goes. Just touching up on the weekly here. And the 50 moving average acted as heavy support here. You can see it kind of wigged through it, but then we closed very strong all the way above. We closed at 34,700, which was a very strong close on the weekly. It like all happened on Sunday pretty much. Yesterday, pretty good close for the weekly. So let's check out the daily now. So on the daily, we're still fighting this descending triangle. We've touched it many times now. The supply is definitely wearing thin, but that's on both sides. The supply is wearing thin on the bottom and this supply line. So either way it can break. I mean, since we're up here, you'd expect it to break to the upside now. Since we've touched it so many times, there can't possibly be much more supply here. We just got to get past this little line right here, and maybe we can start making our way up in this range that we've been trading in. Also, we have some massive divergence on the MACD. So you got very big levels of negative momentum here, then very little right here. So big major divergence. The selling pressure is definitely not as great as it was back here. We also have divergence on the RSI. We're making higher lows here along with price action. So the price action is kind of coming down in like a parallel channel here. You can kind of see it. I'll draw it. So you're kind of getting a parallel channel, downward sloping, and then you got your RSI momentum going up. You got higher lows on the RSI, so that's a bullish divergence there. Looks good on the daily. So what I'm looking for right now is 35.5K, which would be this line right here. I got my lines real transparent. But this line right here, I'm looking for this to break. This is kind of the top of this tiny little micro range that we've been trading in right here. And if we can break that, I think we'll be heading up to like 38.5K, or first we'd probably run into this 50 moving average, because it's going to come down to probably like 37K before we even try to meet it. Or sooner, however this plays out. The longer it takes, the lower the moving average goes, the quicker it is, the higher it is. And this, you can almost bet that this is going to act as some type of resistance here. Usually the moving averages definitely act as resistance or support, whatever side of the whatever side you're on, whether it's support or resistance. And then I have this little parallel or parabola type, you know, little curve line here. It's kind of touching a lot of points. You know, it's got a wick there, it's got a wick there, and like the body of the candle closed down here. You can see it better on the 4 hour. I'll actually go through that on the 4 hour, not this. But that's pretty much all I had on the daily anyways. You can see we're kind of getting some price contraction here. Our lows are pretty much been at like the 30K area with our downward sloping supply line here. And we kind of did a little fake out here. So let's check the 4 hour. This is where it gets a little nitty gritty. So you see this parallel, the curve, the parabola curve, and so we've touched like 1, 2. It's really close there to the wicks and the body closes. A wick there, a bunch of body closes and wicks, and just it's been acting as resistance pretty much this whole way. Broke above and then broke back down. And now if like you were to draw it out a little bit further, we're pretty much basically touching it again. You can really see it on the daily. Whoops. We're pretty much right there again on the daily, you know, bouncing off it again. How much this little curve line means, I don't know, but it's been fairly accurate so far on a little support and resistance area that it's been going through. So let's transfer over to this one. That we're in some ranges here. Oops. Clear it up a little bit. So we've been trading this little micro range here. I started at the top of this zone and went to the bottom, the lowest low of 29,288, and we pretty much, it looks like we may have double bottomed here. Looks like a pretty solid double bottom, and now we're making our way back up. It had a little bit of a dragon pattern. You can see, you know, it touched this touched this top, and you have the feet of the dragon right here, and now we're breaking out, jumped the creek, and now we met another resistance zone, which was this previous supply line that comes down from here. So it's just something to look at. A lot of the altcoins also painted a dragon pattern as well. Ethereum has a little bit better one that it actually took off from, which I'll show you after this. But yeah, we're trading in this range. Right now we're at the 786. If we were to stay in this range and you want to like trade this range properly, you would have, you know, went long here, and you know, you'd be taking profits up here by now. But myself, I'm not trading any of this. I'm staying out of it. Even though it's been fairly predictable, especially in the big range. If I were to keep the big range on, it's been fairly accurate on when to long and when to short. So you want your shorts to be, you know, up in this zone here, and then you're going to take your longs down in this zone, 236 and then 382. And then, you know, you just take profits opposite. You long, profit, short, profit. But I've been staying out of the chop, just sitting on the sidelines watching. Haven't done many trades. I've done a few, but I haven't been, you know, staying on it. But anyways, we got the possible double bottom, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. I would think as long as we can get past this supply line, we make our way to this little zone box, this little zone I got here of like 35.5 to 36.5-ish area, 37K, which as you can see has been acting as a bunch of, you know, support and resistance in this area. There's been so much price action in this area that usually when you come out of it, you're breaking up or down, whatever way it's going, pretty good. So you can expect some resistance. That's why I'm looking at 35.5K, and then you got your 38.5K resistance zone right in here, which acted, you know, previously as a pretty good support and resistance line there. Came up, bounced off it, then went back down. Right here you bounced off it, you went there, tested it, couldn't hold. All this little choppy zone here, these wicks right here. So 38.5K, and if we were to make it out of there, you're talking like 40 to 42K again. Talking about that area, which if this is a dragon pattern, that's normally where it would end up going, is normally to the top of the trend line there. So yeah, right now we're kind of getting rejected, or just, you know, testing the 786 in the range, and we used the 236 as support, and then used the 0.5 fib as support. Now you're getting rejected off the 786, which also has, of course, that supply line, and the 128 moving average on the 4 hour. So it's looking, I mean, I think it's looking pretty good right now. As long as we can get over the supply line, it won't be bad. And now if you're talking, we've also, like, you know, hit 40K-ish several times, you know. Let me just put a little line up here so you can see. We just started at 40K. I mean, we've tested 40K already after the first major correction, the first sell-off. We've already touched it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So the resistance is definitely wearing thin there. And also on the flip side, you got your 30K. So it's like right now it's like make or break, because whatever it goes to next, if it goes to 30K, my bets are on 25 to 20K after that. 25 is a little bit of support, but nothing crazy. And this would be 25K. It's really like 24K, and maybe a little bit in here, like 26.5K. You got a tiny bit there, and a little bit more here in like the 24K area. So my bets are on, if we were to break down, since we've been touching these zones so many times, it's like it's gonna break one of these times, and it's getting to the point where it's touched it so many times where it's gonna be breaking on one of these next touches coming up. So if we go back down to 30K, my bets are on 24, 24.5, 25K, and then 20K eventually after that, if that can't hold. And if we get past this 35.5, I think in 38.5, and then 40 to 42K range would be my next target, which would be up in here, this little zone that we've been touching so many times. After that, I mean, you're looking at like 50K is your next stop. Like after you break 42K, you can almost, and it holds, and it back tested support, you know, a little bit of something like this. You come up, test it, you might come back down, and then you start making your way back up to this 50K. It'd be something like that. That's what you'd want to see. You always like to see a back test and confirm support. It's not necessary though. Sometimes it can just break through and go. But that's what I'm seeing on the chart right now for Bitcoin. We really want to get above this supply line that's been, you know, just acting as so much resistance, because you got 1 touch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all a bunch of times it's been testing it right now, and I think we're going to see it break through very, very soon. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And I deleted my cipher, but there was also a bullish cipher on this little zone we had here. No, that ain't right. Whoops. There's also a little cipher here. There's a bullish cipher with the divergence on the MACD, so that was another sign that we're going to go up. But these harmonics, these bullish harmonics, haven't been playing out to the best. it was a little bit, just a little bit of that hidden bullish divergence. You had, it's very, very subtle. The lower low with the lower low with the body closes, and then, you know, more negative momentum on a higher price, more negative momentum, lower price, less negative momentum. Just on the last island here though. But yeah, that was another sign. You had this harmonic bullish cipher leading into this run up. Now you've hit your profit taking zone at B, A, and pretty much C, which is 35.5K once again. So that's just a little bit on Bitcoin. It's looking rather good in my opinion right now. I'll be more bullish once we get to 35.5 and break it and then hold it as support. Now we go to ETH, which has been doing all kinds of cool stuff today. It is up about 20% on the day. We had this was a dragon pattern too. You had your line up here coming down, testing one, and then you got the two with your feet right here on the dragon. Let me draw a little curved line. You got your feet right. What the fuck's going on? You got your feet there. Now we broke out, jumped the creek, and we had a major move after that. We blasted through the 50 MA. Now we're meeting our 1272 on this micro range we were in on Ethereum, just a little micro range. Now we've already exceeded the full move, and now we're at the 1272. Ethereum's looking pretty good as well. Just some little divergence there, nothing hidden or, you know, just some normal divergence. But the dragon was what really sealed the deal, especially with some divergence playing out. Jumped the creek and just took off. Also, the ETH to BTC chart had a nice kind of a cipher, not really a formal one, but it is definitely an M pattern. But that's starting to play out, if you want to call it one. And also the support lines I had drawn from a while back definitely acted as support, and they'll probably definitely act as resistance on the way back up. But also on the ETH to BTC, blew past the 50 MA. Usually it comes back down to test them, but again, it's not a necessity to do anything in these markets. Nothing is guaranteed and nothing has to happen. But this is definitely 0.0627, 0628, whatever right here, just this area, is definitely some major resistance going to be coming up for Ethereum if it wants to continue to take some dominance from Bitcoin. Because you can see on the come down, it hit it once, twice, and then a third time, and then it tried to break back up once and twice before failing down to the next resistance line. But ETH definitely outperforming Bitcoin today, and I guess you could say it's kind of carrying the whole altcoin sector on its back, just carrying everything up with it as it goes. I think on the day, let's check the day. On the USD. On the day, we'll go 24 hours full. It's about 16% up on Ethereum. For a 12, 16, 24 hours. 24 full hours. So it's a little bit over a day. It's gone up. Not bad. A little bit over a day, like 18% up. 28 hours from this candle to this one. So ETH pumping, man. Pumping. Your next stop, somewhere in this zone of this macro range of a 382, which would be 2200. My next major resistance though is 25.50. So Ethereum outperforming, carrying everything on its back. Had the dragon play out, not bad. Let's check the totals. I haven't even looked at it yet. Could possibly be a double bottom here, triple bottom, 1, 2, 3. Not bad. Just keep going up. That's all we want, up only. RSI is just going up with price. Yeah. Just a possible double, triple bottom here on the totals. Broke through the 50 MA. Oh, actually that's on the 4 hour, sorry. I like looking at the totals on the daily. Also, it kind of is a double bottom as well. Came up, came back down. So we got a possible double bottom there, and some major divergence developing. Just really high negative momentum here, and then pretty much nothing there. Now we finally got some green. So see how this ends up playing out. It might lead to nothing, or it could lead to some upward price action in totals. That's pretty much all I got. Bitcoin, we're still in this range, so if you're trading, don't be looking for the moonshot longs. I know I'm not really trading this too much. I'm just sitting on the sidelines waiting for this mainly for 35.5k to break, and after that I'll probably start entering some longs or possibly shorts depending on how it looks. But yeah, hope you guys got some good info out of this. I hope I explained myself pretty well for you guys. And if you're trading, stay green and keep them profits going up, just like we want the price up only, baby. So yeah, take care guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.